Chennai fans are all trolling him. It's not a tribute to Dhoni. He played a very fair and fantastic game.
Sadhguru, you were rebellious right from the get-go.
Assembly time, I take out my socks. They say, get out. I am out of the window. So I thought at least if I go to the army, I'll escape from everything. Just walk on the Rajasthan border right now and tears come when I just think about them.
And what about biking is so that attracts you?
Many days I would ride 11 to 1200 kilometers. I'd slept on my motorcycle.
So what you've done is bringing the yogic perspective of Mahadev rather than just the religious perspective.
He's not a religious man, he's a yogi. Adi yogi is not of the past. Adi yogi is for the future because he is giving you a technological solution to every goddamn problem you can create. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Telugulo maatladtare Haryana ninka vachi naaku?
Koncham Sadhguru. Sadhguru garu baga unnara.
Baagunnanu kada.
IPL చూస్తున్నారా? IPL చూస్తున్నారా?
ఒకే ఒక మ్యాచ్ చూశానండి.
ఎలాగా ఉన్నది మ్యాచ్? మ్యాచ్ ఎలాగా ఉన్నది?
మ్యాచ్ ఏం లేదండి, అంత ఒకే టీము.
మీ ఫేవరెట్ టీం చెన్నై ఉంది?
నా ఫేవరెట్ టీం క్రికెట్ అండి. People always ask, Sadhguru, which is your favorite team? I don't look at a match like that. Even when I watch cricket, I'm not looking at the score, I'm watching ball to ball. Because that's where the game is.
Yeah.
Score is a childish arithmetic. Yes, it matters, somebody wins, somebody loses, but for me, every ball, how it's being done and how it's bowled, how it's hit, how it's fielded, I'm watching this. If they're doing it well, I enjoy it. I don't care who they are, I won't even know who they are.
But Sadhguruji, I think this is an excellent start in my mind because in today's world of social media, unfortunately the score and who's your favorite team.
That's because they don't know the game. They don't know nothing about the game. Because they have not watched test matches and the nuances of cricket, there's so many nuances to the game, which is very unique compared to any other game. But these people have all probably grown up just watching T20. They think they don't know the difference between baseball and cricket. Hit the ball, run and score and count the numbers. This is very simplistic.
I think enjoying the game for what it is in my view something that I believe will give so much peace on X and Instagram, where team clubs have become the single biggest matter of fight. So I am so happy you're saying this. But that said, I continue to be a great fan of MS Dhoni, who you went to watch.
They even planned a nice run out for him. And unfortunately, the New Zealand boy didn't understand, he hit a six. So Chennai fans are all trolling him, that you should have allowed Dhoni to hit them. So this is becoming like a movie dump. It's not a game is different.
Absolutely.
Sport is playing every ball to its fullest, not about…
You're talking about the 2019 semi-final that remains in the heart of every Indian.
I'm saying it's not a tribute to Dhoni to do this.
Yeah.
He played a very fair and fantastic game throughout his career. He brought a new level of wisdom to the game. When the game was getting little boisterous and going out, he brought that gentlemanly thing back to the game. Unfortunately, I know people love him, it's fine. Love does not mean that you have to distort everything.
Correct.
You love him because of his cricket.
Because of his skills and his hard work.
No, because of his cricket.
Correct.
You don't know him as a person.
Correct.
All right? You love him because of his cricket. So don't destroy the cricket and love the man.
I think that is… and I think that is true not just for him. There are other excellent cricketers like Virat Kohli and various others. When they're doing well, people support them. And when there is a small mistake, I think instead of appreciating all the great cricket they have played, people end up…
No, I don't agree with that. You've done very well till now. If you do badly today, I won't spare you. Okay?
That's true.
It's fine, but I know the vitriol that they're pouring out, which is unnecessary. Criticism is okay.
Correct.
Today you're not playing well, we say you're not playing well, what's wrong with that?
It can be an objective criticism.
It can be little acerbic criticism also, but I'm saying you're not playing well, you're not playing well. everybody cannot express in the same language, somebody will express little more, it's okay. But these hate campaigns that they run, or love campaigns that they run, both are wrong.
So Sadhguru, and I saw your beautiful YesD there.
That I'm not riding. That's too antique to ride now.
But it looks beautiful. I think your story of, every Indian who's grown
About
up…
the SD 250,
Yes.
the Road King, they made a coffee table book, the SD company, recently, the Iranis who made that. So in that they put it out that in a single calendar year, I am the only rider who pushed a SD to that many kilometers.
Really?
On an average, I was doing anywhere between 54 to 60,000 kilometers a year. I would change…
1,000?
Yeah, I would change 5 to 6 sets of tires. I would rebore the engine about 4 times in a year.
And what about biking is so that attracts you?
It's not about biking, I don't see it as that. It's just that at that time, I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know what is there and what everybody's doing in their day-to-day lives is just not enough. That much I know clearly, 100%. I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be an engineer, I don't want to be an accountant. When family started pushing, you must choose something, I said, okay, I'll go to the army. Okay.
Is that why you have the…
No, this is… the BSF wanted to honor me, so I want to remind people, right now you're sitting here and saying push, 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 you have a cooler running, all this. Stand on the Rajasthan border, now.
Or in Siachen?
Arey, Siachen is nice now,
In the summers, sorry.
Yeah.
But Jaisalmer is not fun.
Just walk on the Rajasthan border right now and through this summer, 8 hours a day, then you will see what's BSF, all right. For me, tears come when I just think about them. I've been there and I've seen men how they go through it. Now there are women also in the BSF.
Yeah. So Sadhguru, going back to your story, your parents pushed you to find out something.
No, they're not wanting me to find out anything. They want me to do something which is already found out. Because that's what is safe. No parent wants you to find out something, all right?
My parents…
What is already found, do it. I'm a doctor, you become a doctor. If you can't become a doctor, become an engineer. If you can't become an engineer, do business or commerce or something. No, I'm not interested in any of those things, so what? So I thought at least if I go to the army, I'll escape from everything, and above all, army promised us adventure.
Correct.
There was one Colonel Kumar, I don't know if you heard of him, maybe you're too young for that. He was legendary at that time. He was a mountaineer and he climbed… I think he did Kanchenjunga a couple of times, so I was part of the Deccan mountaineering. So he came and spoke to us, he was, he showed all his toes gone in his frostbite stuff. So, I thought the best thing is join the army, at least you get to climb a mountain and do something. And I was also into hang gliding, so armed forces were the only ones who were doing hang gliding at that time. So I thought if I go to the army, maybe they'll let me fly. Maybe they would just make me do this, I don't know, but that was a dream.
Sadhguru, you were rebellious right from the get-go.
I didn't think I'm rebellious, I just did what I want. Everybody thinks you're doing something rebellious. What is human nature? Tell me. If you don't mess them up from early on, which nobody could do to me, what is human nature? Human intelligence is looking what is what. This is not just human nature, this is the nature of all life. Leave one rodent here, that guy will explore every hole, every corner, everything that's there. In 5 minutes, he'll know the entire damn place. Yes or no? It's just that our scale is bigger, that's all, being human. So they think this is rebellious, it's nothing rebellious, it's the nature of a human being to search. You destroyed this possibility of human beings searching and knowing things with the ideas of religion, nationalities, various kinds of identities which they want you to be limited within that identity to serve them in some way. If you did not mess a child with any kind of belief system, any kind of philosophy, any kind of scripture, would he not ask the question, how did all this happen? Where did I come from? I was not there and now I'm here, where do I come from? My grandfather was here and he's gone now, where is he gone? Is it not a question every child will ask?
Yeah.
No, before he asks, he say, grandfather came from God and went back to God and he's playing cricket with God, depends which country you are, okay? So once you start telling lies like this all over the place, then you destroyed the search. Otherwise, every child, natural intelligence is such, it will seek, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing rebellious about it. I didn't think I was rebellious, I was just doing what was natural to me and everybody was boiling and hopping, that's their rebellion.
The reason I said so, Sadhguru, is because in a small way, I feel I had a childhood similar to you. I was always the kid who was asking weird questions. I didn't pursue my university. My parents told me that you should do something. I dropped out after my high school and I started a business of mine. So I always, and everybody around me would say, like, you're very rebellious. So when I got the opportunity to read your story, I think it's just perspective of curiosity, or like you say, seeking.
There is a natural seeking for human intelligence. A rodent will see where all the food is. If you leave a dog, it's go on smelling, what's it doing?
By themselves.
It's seeking. What? He knows he's seeking.
Yeah.
He's seeking food and he's seeking a mate all the time. A human being, his intelligence allows him to seek something much bigger, that's about it.
And then, Sadhguru, and I know you mentioned about identities not being such a great thing, but would you call yourself a free-thinking libertarian as an outcome?
Why are you fixing an identity like that?
I knew you would say this, but I felt I'll ask you anyway.
It sounds quite laborious, free thinking, this thing. I don't think most of the time. Just yesterday I was telling somebody, buddy, stop thinking. Learn to look at things the way they are. Thinking means what? You're recycling your old data. If you don't stop this nonsense, you will do nothing new ever in your life. Because old data keeps circulating and you think you're thinking. No, it's mental diarrhea happening.
Right.
So I'm not free thinking, I'm not in a diarrheal state. When I want to think, I think consciously,
you look at it and see it for what it is.
Isn't that how you perceive life? Is there some other way?
Like you said, that is what human behavior is, naturally.
No, but the human behavior is so messed up simply because of the identities we have taken. Identities we have taken is just from the memories that we hold, isn't it? If I pull out your memory chip, then what are you?
Yeah.
So, there is life and life process beyond psychological process. We're just too lost in our own psychological process. What this means is, you are not involved in the larger creation. You are too fascinated with your own silly creation that you're doing in your head. You think too much of yourself, to put it simply.
No, absolutely, Sadhguru. And I think it's an important point saying that you can either think too much,
No,
but
no, no,
leave
no,
out
I don't
the
agree.
opportunity
No,
of…
no, no, I don't agree. Nobody in the world is thinking too much. I think they're not thinking enough. It's just that their thinking is so frictious that if they think 10 thoughts, they'll feel stressed. And they think they're thinking too much. Right now you are appreciating my SD. Those days, I was built like that, I was made like that. Many days I would ride 11 to 1200 kilometers on the roads of India of that day, all
That
right?
means almost no break.
No break, no such thing. I didn't know what's a break. Even now I don't have a break in my life. So, hold on, 5 times I'll fill the tank in a day, okay? Because I'm not going anywhere, I'm only going. I'm not going to some place. I'm just seeing India. I've absorbed India like that, without any pride or prejudice about it, simply absorbed India the way it is.
No biases, nothing, just seeing people.
No, just saying. Never checked into any Oyo hotel or nothing. I just went and introduced myself and stayed in somebody's house in the village. Some people welcomed me and may give me a small place, some people said sleep outside.
Oh, so you just basically were wandering. So when you're riding, if you had to sleep somewhere in the day, you just go knock a door and ask for help.
Sometimes, if I'm short of food, I go to places where people will offer me some food and some place to sleep sometimes no. Otherwise, I'll climb up a tree and sleep on the tree. Probably I'm the only one who could sleep soundly upon my motorcycle. I slept on my
You
motorcycle.
slept on your motorcycle
Yes.
for a night.
There's no full night for me. Even now, there's no full night. If I sleep for a couple of hours, I'm fine.
That's enough.
Mm.
That's incredible, Sadhguru. So, Sadhguru, I think, sorry, I'm switching gears to talk a little bit
You're
about…
losing direction. It's called not switching gears. Switching gears means we're speeding up.
That's a good way to put it.
No, switching gears means we're going faster.
In the same direction. No, we have to, I think we are going to change direction.
We need to do the handlebar or the steering wheel, depends what you're…
We are going to do the handlebar on the other side. So, Sadhguru, let's talk a little bit about education. We are here at Jnanashala, the home school, where I also got the opportunity to speak to some of your students. They have a fascinating perspective. So, what inspired you to build this?
See, when I went to school, there are many aspects. I don't want to go into everything. Much has been spoken already about my,
Childhood.
lack of schooling kind of thing. But one thing I noticed was, I have a billion questions, like a cloud hanging around me. Anybody I see, I will torture them with questions. But you see, almost nobody has any genuine answer. They'll all quote something. They'll say, this man said this, that man said that, this one says this. I said, that's not the point. What is… you came ahead of me. So nobody says, what is my experience of life and this is what it is, this is what I've realized, this is what I've gleaned from life. No. They say this book says this, that man said this is a great man, he said that. So essentially all of them are trying to establish an authority. Nobody is interested in truth. Authority is the truth in their life. God said it, some sage or saint said it, God's son said it, God's messenger said it, my guru said it, my father said it. Doesn't matter what said, you're trying to establish an authority. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the truth. Do you have even a tiny bit of truth for me? No.
Yeah.
You're quoting and quoting nonsense. So when I went and saw in the school, I could figure out what they're talking, not of great importance to me. But the important thing is, essentially they were talking something which doesn't mean a damn thing to them. There were few teachers who stood out. They were talking something that matters to them. I don't care whether it's physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, this, that, whatever. But I'm willing to listen to somebody only if it means something to someone. They're talking something that means something to them. You think it's great nonsense and you're telling me, I'm not interested. Even today, people ask me, Sadhguru, where is this patience from? People are talking such stupid things and you listen to them. I said, because it means something to them. If they say one word that doesn't mean anything and they think it's some great rubbish,
to say,
I'm done with them. So you say something which means something to you. Once I realized that they're talking things which don't mean a damn thing, it's just a way of earning a living for them, I am out of the window. Fortunately, in my school, there were no window bars.
You could not bunk your classes.
Huh?
You could not bunk your classes.
What do you mean?
Bunking is like, you can just leave lot of…
No, it was very simple. Right through my high school, it was like this. We go first in the morning, there's one period where the attendance happens.
Correct.
I finish that, after that there's an assembly. Assembly time, I take out my socks and keep it in my pocket. They say, get out. That's all. I went to the lake, I swam, I caught fish, ate. I went on the mango trees, I caught snakes, I did all kinds of things, birds.
You found a way to be asked out of the class.
See, it was legal. I didn't run
Just
away.
about legal. So Sadhguru, you talked about snakes. I grew up in a place called Raigada in Odisha, Andhra Pradesh borders. That's how I know Telugu.
I know Raigad.
You know about Raigada?
Very connected to Raigad.
That's incredible. I heard, by the way, your story of Sambalpur, which is not very far from our town.
Raigad also,
You're connected to there as well?
very much.
So our place has 80% forest cover, as you would know, Sadhguru. So our house, all the time there would be some snake or the other that will be found. Right? So we got used to having snakes, right? Like we were not scared of having snakes, which is what you see typically in urban town, or some people think the snake is very scared. But I see the significance of Naga in the ashram, in Nalanda. We were just seeing that even, behind the doors, the Chitkaniut, even that had Naga on it. What is your relationship with snakes and nuts.
It's not relevant in a talk like this, but I will ask you to read up my relationship with Raigad and snakes.
Where can I find it, Sadhguru?
More than a life, it's there.
More than life. I'm going to read it for sure.
So, Raigad, me and Cobra are like bang up, okay? Let's not go there now. The important thing is, in the development of human consciousness, in the development of human intelligence, one significant stage is that of a reptile. In your brain, because you didn't go to school, I'm explaining all these things.
Thank you, Sadhguru. I came here for wisdom anyway, and you invited me to Jnanashala at this beautiful courtyard, so I thought might as well.
So, in your brain, there is a small fist-sized brain, which is called the reptilian brain.
In human brain itself?
Yes, yes. I said you're human, right?
Of course.
So, there is a reptilian brain. This brain is not a thinking brain. It does everything automatic. In a large capacity, most of the things you are is in this. The trouble that you create for yourself is in the rest of the cerebral cerebral flower that's come over that. This allows you to think, this allows you to project, this allows you to do things. But your entire survival process, your motor skills, everything is in the reptilian brain. It's automatic brain. And that is most important. If that doesn't function, this one is nothing. This is the fluff. We can do a lot with fluff, of course. I'm not saying fluff in a negative way, but it's like in the brain, if you look at it, it's like the fluff. So, because generally in this civilization it was never so, because after the Europeans came, because they did not know anything more than their thought. They had no insights, they had no, deeper ways of divining things. For them, free thinking became like liberation, because they grew up and they lived and they suffered religious persecution like nobody. That if you think anything other than what's written in the book, you're dead. You know those millions of women who were burnt on the stake, what was their crime in Europe? It's just this. They were doing something other than what's written in the book. That's all. For that, they were burnt alive in millions, not in one or two. So that was the level of control, that if you think differently, other than the way the religion teaches, you should not exist. I always keep joking about this. There are two ways of answering a question. If you know how to answer, you answer the question. Otherwise, you kill the questioner. Question is gone for now. And nobody else will dare to articulate the same question again in this generation. Hello? It's happening, right? Even today it's happening. You ask a question, we'll kill the questioner. Finished. Question is over. So this is how it was. When they broke through that, this, they call this the age of enlightenment. All they could do was, they could think free of the scriptures that they were attached to. Not fully free, little bit over. Suddenly it's the age of enlightenment.
That led to the age of enlightenment.
I'm not calling it enlightenment, they call it.
So-called.
In this civilization, we've never attached much significance to human thought, because human thought is just recycling of existing data. If you perceive this, you can multiply this in your mind in many different ways. Not that it's not useful, it's useful to create atmospheres, it's useful to survive, it's useful to run economics and stuff, which is all survival glorified if you ask me. Hello?
Yeah.
Just survival glorified and taken to such limits that it doesn't matter, after 10,000 years we're still fighting for survival. It's stupid, because we've upped the bar in such a way. Even if you're a billionaire, you're still struggling for survival in the billionaire world. I'm telling you.
Which is, by the way, I agree, is true. Because for whatever reason, all of us are getting past every day in a manner where there is this pursuit that we are all on. But Sadhguru, I think the point that you mentioned is a very important one, and I think about it often as well, which is even on a scientific side. We are all trying to be a derivation of what already exists out there, rather than creating something entirely new. If you look at science also, the number of breakthrough inventions that have come in the last 5 or 6 decades have been so much lesser than what used to be earlier, that when light was invented or various…
Nobody invented light.
I mean, not light, bulb. My apologies. Light has always been there.
Light has been there, all right?
Bulb or electricity or one of them.
Whatever. See, the thing is this, if you know nothing, you go to school and they taught you how to count up to 5, not 10, up to 5, you feel enlightened, all right?
Correct.
You came home and you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
That's it.
Correct.
This used to happen to my daughter Radhe when she was little, very little. I always made sure if she's around me, I will take her somewhere where she can see the stars or outside in the nature or forest. So I take her up on the terrace, she looks at the stars, she says, Jaggi, 10.
Because I could count 10.
Not she counts 10. That's the biggest number in the
And she
universe.
knows. Oh wow.
Not she knows. That's the biggest number in the universe. Where can you count more? I am saying, whatever you think is the biggest number is just a question of more zeros, isn't it? So in her mind, 10 is the largest number in the universe. So she says, so many, 10. That's a great number. What's wrong with 10? Even all the stars want to wear number 10. So, our idea of numbers and our idea of universe, our idea of physics, well, there is a whole committed troll army against me, which they will all get on. I want to give them some material, otherwise how do they make a living? Poor guys. So let me give them some material. Today what you know as physics, what you know as science, whatever. See, in this cosmos or in this atom, whether you take the smallest unit or the ultimate unit, in both, over 99%, 99.99 something percent is nothing, vast nothingness, even in the atom. So you know, with all your objective observations, you know 0.0001 something, all right? With that, you're audacious enough to make conclusions about life. I think it's too stupid. Simply because you can create a little more comfort and convenience, this doesn't mean you figured out all life, all right? So, this is not… I'm not trying to denigrate science. Science has done fantastic things. Life is more comfortable than ever before. Survival is more simple than ever before. But being able to do something better and knowing are two different things. So the longing to know is what drove science. But today it's all like innovation, doing one more thing, one more gadget, one more nonsense, so that people can do. See, for example, I'm not talking against any brand, phones are coming every year. Whatever, one calls it the entire galaxy, another calls it 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 17. All right, whatever they call it. Then they have to do something for their marketing, it's fine with me. All I'm saying is, most people, I'm telling you, most people who think they are technologically competent, for example, they still can't use iPhone 10 or 11 properly. Fully, I'm saying. Properly is not the word, fully. It's full capacity. Now whatever 16, 17 that is there, not even 2% or 5% of its capacity people are using, except a few people who are using little more. So, producing newer and newer models is only a question of commerce, because otherwise you'll stay with the same phone, it's not good for the economy.
Huh? No repeat business.
Not good for the economy.
Right.
Let me not accuse just one company.
Yeah,
not good for the general economy.
Consumerism needs to grow and this is a path towards it.
Don't use the word grow. Not good for the economy.
Not good.
You need to consume. At the same time, we crib that ecology, all right? Leave that aside. But the important thing is, there's no real longing to know. That's a very small band of scientists, tiny. Rest are all thinking what research will give them funding. It's all about funding. Very unfortunate, but it's all about funding. Oh, how can we do without fund? That is true also. I'm saying, it's like when commerce gets into science, when commerce drives science, that's not science for me. When commerce drives spiritual process, that's not spiritual process for me. People who do not know, I'm talking to the troll army, which they'll come with you anyway. I'm just telling that. You know, many years ago, we formed Isha Foundation and Isha Business. Our people said, Sadhguru, this is too up in the face. Isha Business, what is this? I said, this is how it is with me. Foundation will never do business. Business will not do dana dharma, it will do business. You're not in terms with it, it's up to you. For me, this has to be clear. Spiritual process will not be handled as business.
And you'd rather disclose it and talk about it upfront rather than try and do it in
what is the point?
Correct, I agree with you.
The Isha Business will not do dana dharma, they're looking for profit.
And foundation will not do
Foundation will not do business, they're just looking how to get it across to people.
Yeah. So Sadhguru, I think this is a good segue. I'm an entrepreneur. So Sadhguru, one of the questions I have, or at least I believe, that there's a structural difference between a business person and an entrepreneur. I believe so. A business person is running a business, understand? In my view, entrepreneur is someone who has a purpose beyond the commerce.
You're slapping your own back too much, man, it'll turn red.
I'm trying, Sadhguru. This is an effort for some time. Like from my perspective, I see you as an entrepreneur who saw that there is a purpose in bringing better living and better life for a lot of people, and it has to be done sustainably. Because if it is not done sustainably, it won't last for a long period of time. And that's how you combine these two initiatives. When you were starting back in the day, I read about your story, whatever I have read, little. I think that the information is more, so I may have missed it, so I apologize. You already had a thriving business, so actually left a business to start Isha Foundation. How did you have the courage, and what did you not get scared of the risk that something like that comes with to pursue an initiative which understandably will not give you a lot of income or at least survival in the first few years?
See, it may look a bit odd if I tell you things as they are. So should I do little diplomacy with you?
No, let's go as they are.
As is.
As is.
So I want you to understand, even when I got into business, my only intent was, by the time I'm, like 19, I started riding across India, crisscrossing India on my motorcycle.
At 19?
Yes. And then I hit the national borders. When I tried to cross, they said, you need a passport. I was nearly 20, almost 20, and I did not know what is a passport. Today a 5-year-old child will know. I did not know what's a passport. I thought when I turned 18, within 3 months I got my license. I've been riding since I'm 12. But the first thing is, when I turned 18, within 3 months I got my license. And I didn't understand what is this other document that they need. I have my license, I thought I can go anywhere in the world. I'm in that mode. Then I turned back and I came back and inquired around where to get the passport, this, that, and I got my passport within 4-5 months. Then my only thing is, now that they stopped me at the border, my thing is I want to just ride across the world. Who'll stop me? Now I got this new one also. Okay, I didn't know there's a visa on top of it. So I'm saying I'm a wild creature, looking everywhere with fresh eyes, but
But by the way, I must say that whatever you do, you figured out a way to be legal in that. So when you had to leave the class, you used the socks to have legal. When you have to ride a bike, you got your license 3 months after 18. When you had to get through the border, you got the passport. It's like, you had this perspective of saying that what is legal
No,
plus.
I'm not thinking legal, illegal. I believe in doing everything the way it works.
And you saw that this is how it works,
Yes,
that
that's how
everybody
it
gets a
works.
passport.
Right
Somebody
now,
asked for it.
initially I was just teaching and like how we conducted the initial programs. I go somewhere and I teach. We try to…
I have seen a lot of photos, a lot of my friends and colleagues have been to some of those,
Your
programs that you
friends
visited.
couldn't have come to those classes, they're too old.
Yeah, I think maybe this is 2008.
No, I started teaching in '82.
That's
So,
sorry about that.
I go somewhere and…
So back in '82, You used to go to different towns and…
Yes. So I go teach somewhere. Initially I tried to teach free, and I had to close my business, I had money, I had sold some properties, and still I'm selling properties because what I made at that time in that short time period and
So
everything…
you're a very good business person.
Well, it all multiplied many fold. Many fold means 1,000-fold from that day to this day, the same.
So you were
problem.
doing venture capital type investments back
Yes,
in 80s.
see, one of the things that I did was, I built farms for people. All the academics who come to Mysore University want to settle down in Mysore because the weather is good, it's a cultural city, all that stuff. So they don't know how to do a farm, but they have a dream of doing a farm. So I created small farms for them, 2-acre, 3-acre, 5-acre farms, everywhere. So I built many farms. Simply in 2 months I'll make a farm, and the value of the farm from what I've invested…
Multiply.
minimum 5 to 10 times.
That's a very smart business even today.
Even today it is, if you know how to do it.
And you're giving me new ideas, Sadhguru. So…
So, let me finish.
Yeah,
this.
please continue.
So there are many other enterprises on the parallel which I did, I don't want to go into all the detail, but I got labeled as the biggest, brick manufacturer in the town because I just did bricks in a very unique way. Some other day when you really need a business idea, I'll talk to you in detail how I did it. Nobody had thought that it could be done like that. So, things happen, but what I'm saying is, all these things are right in front of your eyes, nobody sees it. Because what is happening in their stupid head is more important for them than the realities of existence. You can only build on the reality. If you build up in the cloud, you are called a psychotic person. Most people are building their worlds in the cloud. No, I don't mean the technology cloud, I mean the real cloud.
Sadhguru, what is your… how do you think about risk in your perspective? Do you think what you did was… because when you explain it, I feel like you did not see it even like a risk, you saw it as…
I never saw it like a risk. I did set up things in most remote places, including this.
Yeah.
When we first bought this first piece of 14 acres of land, and I brought the trustees to see this, I just formed a foundation. I wanted them to see. They saw this place and immediately 3 people resigned. They said, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's gone. Because they thought it's so remote, who is going to come here? Well, today it's
This is partly true back in the day, today it is no more the issue.
Today it's an
Back in…
international destination. So, even in Tennessee, I went to the most remote place, and today we have over 24 to 26,000 acres, and we're building a whole city. It's become a hub.
In Tennessee?
Yeah. In United States.
Yeah.
So,
26,000 acres.
yes.
That's incredible. I'd love to have the honor to visit it some point of
come.
time, Sadhguru.
If it is… we are building a whole city called Yogic City.
It's called the yogi.
It's a conscious planet movement that is part of the thing. So in… there'll be a certain number of people there in future, but right now, maybe there are about 2,000 plus people.
Already?
Yeah. So people are moving in as the buildings come up. So these are remote areas. See, if I had to build the ashram in Coimbatore city, we would have bought probably 1 acre, 2 acre and built it. And I saw, for what I have to offer to people, the moment they come to know what I am offering, no space will be enough. Even here, the space is not enough. Rooms are all booked up all the time, everybody is angry with us because we say no room, no room, Only in the leanest period of time there are rooms, other times there are no rooms. So, why I'm saying this is, you can call it business, is there no fear about this, no fear… I don't operate out of fear because I don't see how a man can lose anything in this life, because you come with nothing, you'll go with nothing. One who's come with nothing, what can he lose? Oh, what about money, what about this? There's a way around those things. For every problem there is a solution. It's just that you get tangled up in the problem. You're not looking at the problem, you're getting tangled in the problem. Your psychological mess you think is real. Actual situation is only one or two situations. In your mind, they will multiply into many. Let me put it like this. This happened when in 2008, when the West at least was going into recession. In 2008, India did not go into recession because you had not climbed at all to fall. South Korea fell big time, US and Europe took some big hits. India, some people were saying, oh, we did not fall, we are the strongest economy. I said, you have to climb to fall down. You don't climb, you won't fall, of course.
You were a much smaller economy.
Yes, very small. So there was no place to fall. So when this happened, everybody was in black mood and I was asked to do certain things in the economic forum, leave that alone. There's this thing that happened. An American delegation went to China as they're trying to expand business there.
In China?
Yeah, those are not the tariff days. Because they want to find some new market and do something because recession is beginning to set in.
On exports, they find a new market.
Yeah. So all the Americans are looking billionaires, but crestfallen. The same was happening in Davos also. They're crestfallen because a few billions down they are. Just a number game.
Yeah.
It's nowhere are billions, all right, it's just in your mind. So this Chinese guy, very wise guy, he did this in a hotel lobby. He brought one chair and put it in front of a mirror. He said, see, here, this is one chair, in the mirror one more chair. And then he asked somebody to bring another mirror, put it there, and see, now there are hundreds of chairs. If you lose these hundreds of chairs, no problem, as long as you have this chair. It's the only chair you actually had. So this is all in our mind, this loss will happen, that loss will happen. I don't see it that way. I don't see life as success and failure. You come as a human being, you have 4 limbs and you got a few working brain cells, you're a big success in my mind. Whether you experience yourself as a success or you make a misery out of yourself is an unfortunate reality a lot of people are doing to themselves.
I think, Sadhguru, this is such a well-taken takeaway because it's the reality of life that some days you will feel like, I'm not going through a great time, some days…
No, I'm not talking about that. Why should you feel some days like this, some days like that? I'm every day blissed out only. Whatever the hell is happening.
That's the learning that we should take away from you.
No, it's not a learning, I'm saying. It's not a learning, it's a fundamental fact in our existence.
That we need to remind ourselves.
You need to recognize this is the reality.
Yeah. That instead of being bothered, like reality is like you said, you're with 2 hands, 2 limbs, you're 4,
Some working brain cells.
Some working brain cells.
Working means they're working for you, not against you. There are a lot of people, their brain cells are working but against them.
So what worse can happen? So you're absolutely right, we should not put oneself through the misery or the satisfaction.
If you're not dead, you're doing great. If you're dead, no problem at all.
So, Sadhguru, let's talk about Sadhguru, the app founder. You do so many things. One recent new addition is you have a new app.
Miracle of Mind.
Miracle of Mind, which, just for everyone listening, is probably the fastest growing app ever in the health category. Fastest growing app in itself, in any category overall, which recently beat ChatGPT in the number of downloads.
Why? That's become the standard.
Because ChatGPT is probably…
I'm thinking Miracle of Mind is a failure. And I also think I'm a big failure because there are 8.4 billion people. Leave the children below 18 or below 15, let's leave them. So at least 7 billion people are there, adults. 7 billion people. Out of them, how many of them wake up joyfully and go to bed joyfully? Let me give him a good percentage, maybe 1 billion. That too for reasons other than themselves. Today, I beat you up, so I am going to bed happy. Today, I made money and you lost money, so I am going to bed happy. Today, I ran a race and I am first and you are nothing. This is how people are joyful, unfortunately. They're just enjoying other people's failures, essentially. How many are actually simply joyfully going to bed? Very small number.
Just blissful as it.
Maybe it's in millions, but still very small number. Others are going happy or this thing because they're drunk or they're drugged or something, they're using chemicals to feel little like this and go unconscious. They don't know. In unconsciousness, you neither know misery nor joy, all right? Both are gone. So, essentially, when there are 7 billion eligible people, little more than 2 million enroll, and I don't think it's a success.
Spoken truly like a entrepreneur, Sadhguru, because for an entrepreneur, the most important is how many people's lives.
Let me take away that word because I think calling myself an entrepreneur would be a bit ugly. So I will tell you like this: do you want to do a venture in your life or an adventure in your life? An adventure.
Oh, that's a good way to compare, huh? Venture or adventure.
Yeah,
I love it.
If you do a venture, you're counting money, counting money. How do you count money? I have little less money than you, so you feel very happy. You're making $1 billion a day, but I made 2 billion, you'll become unhappy. Look at this. Your joy is not about yourself, your joy is everybody should be doing badly. That's the only thing. Adventure means you choose something which is not necessarily safe.
Yeah.
It will be dangerous. Dangerous means you lose money, I don't think it's very dangerous. You could lose your life. Well, losing money could lead to that one way or the other. You could lose your life one way or the other. Because this is the only thing you have and that's the most fragile thing. Poof, it'll go away. Are you breathing?
Yeah.
In, out, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Next inhalation did not happen, you're gone.
Yeah.
Not a trace. Wherever we search, you will not be there.
Amen.
That's fragile. And it's the only thing you have. Tell me what else you have.
Nothing.
Nothing. Rest is all imagination.
Yeah.
The only thing you have. The only thing you have is like you're playing yo-yo with it. If you stop it, you will die.
Yeah.
If you play, you know you will die. This is the beauty of life.
Guru, you said such an intense things with so much happiness. But I'll tell you this, I think your blissfulness and your perspective of adventure, I think it starts with your bike. The more I think about it, because when you're biking…
No, I cycled across South India
Also.
at one time. But then I added a motor to it.
But you know, it's such a… you're like… if you think about it that simply, that's all you have. That's all you have.
Not you think about it, that's all you have.
That's a fact.
Whether you think or you don't think, whether you have a
That's
brain
the
or you
reality.
you have no brain, that's all you got.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sadhguru, as I use the app, I saw that the level of details that the app experience has. Tell me a little bit about the galaxy picture. Why did you consider putting that up in the middle of the experience?
See, the reason why… See, let's look at it this way. People have always been trying to sell miracles to people. They have launched religions, they have launched many movements talking about miracles. Some of them keep on coming up with new miracles. If you really pay attention, they're quite ridiculous stuff. I've been joking with people. See, Sadhguru, you don't perform any miracle. That guru does this, he pulled out chain from the tree, he pulled out this from the tree. I said, I can pluck a mango, man, from a tree. It's not good enough for you. You want a chain? You want to hang yourself? You can put a rope. And you really want a miracle, I can put my hand in my pocket and pull out a pigeon and give it to you. What is achieved? You have a bird. I have a shitty pocket.
With no bird anymore.
Nothing has changed. All is, I got mess and I gave you the mess. Leave the damn bird, let it fly.
Let it fly.
What are you doing keeping it in your pocket? So I'm saying the idea of miracle has been so silly, rudimentary, not even childish, it's infantile. Miracles which are flying as great religions in many ways. So if you really look at it, all these miracles were created by this miracle. Somebody saw how to create something which at least grabs everybody's imagination and they can do something out of it. maybe I will give them the margin. Maybe they started with the intention of really doing something good. Along the way, many things happen. This you can't help, unfortunately. This is what happens over a period of time. So, the only miracle that you know is the human mind.
Yeah.
But where is all the human misery manufactured in the world? In Delhi? Huh?
Same place. In
The human mind.
The human mind.
So this mind, which could be a miracle, now has become misery manufacturing place. This is simply because you don't know how to hold it. When I say you don't know how to hold it, if I ask you a simple question, do you want your intellect or mind to be sharp or blunt? Choose, I'm going to bless you.
Sharp.
Sharp, you asked for it. So if if you're given something very sharp, let's say we gave you a knife which is super sharp, now how you hold it, you must be very conscious.
Careful.
Conscious,
Yeah.
not careful.
Conscious, that's right.
Careful comes, your mother will tell you, be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you a story. You asked for it, okay?
Let's do this.
I'm traveling in Kailash, trekking, in tents, staying in a tent. I'm working on something, I'm writing something, and there is a person who is out to cut an apple, with a knife, of course. It's one of those porcelain knives of today, which is supposed to be very sharp. So there's another person who says, be careful, it's a very sharp knife. It irritates me. Something so obvious when you say it, it irritates me. I call something a knife only if it's sharp. If it's blunt, I call it a hammer. And this is not a child. If it's a child, I agree.
As an adult.
Adult. Is there a need to tell him it's a very sharp knife? Nice.
Life is supposed to be sharp.
Yes. That's not how it is. You must say it. Then I am continuing to work, a bit irritated about this nonsense. Then again that person says, be careful, it's a very sharp knife. I said, hey, come on, leave him alone. He's a grown-up man, he must know the knife is sharp. No, Sadhguru, it's a very sharp knife, Sadhguru. I said, shut up, huh? I know a knife is sharp, and when you handle a knife, you should know how to handle it. It's not some complicated machinery, and he's not trying to do a surgery, all right? If he was doing some minor surgery, then you can remind him, be careful, it may go deeper than you want. He's just cutting an apple. And poor apple doesn't care how you cut it, whichever way you cut it, it doesn't like it.
It's out there to be cut anyway.
No, it's not there to be cut. That's not what an apple thinks. We think
That's
whichever way you cut, it doesn't like it.
it's
Cut it quickly and be done with it, because you have to eat it. So, like this, people go on. Why? Because if I give you a sharp knife, you must know which is blade, which is handle, first of all.
correct.
You hold the blade side, and please hold it firmly means you held it tight. Well, it'll cut through your hand. Or you held it the right way, but you're a little la 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 la, like this, intestines will come out, either yours or somebody else's. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why we don't give a knife to a child's hand is not because the knife is dangerous, because the child is not conscious enough, his body is not stable enough. So we are warning him. Knife has never been dangerous. Yeah, you ever heard of a knife jumping and stabbing somebody? Did it ever happen? So depending on whose hands it is,
And how conscious they are.
if a certain hand holds it, this knife can save a life. If another kind of hand holds it, it can take a life. Another hand holds it, it can produce a meal at least. I'm saying, knife by itself has no intent. You can use it any way, which way you want. Similarly with your intelligence, you can use it any which way you want. I can use it to poke you, or I can poke myself, or I can bring well-being to both. This is a choice that you have every moment. You're making all the wrong choices, and you think something wrong with the mind, you think something wrong with the world, you think something wrong with somebody who's sitting in front of you. No, the only thing is, your intelligence is not working for you, it's working against you. You can call it any number of names. People call it stress, anxiety, this one, that one, all these things are being made normal now. Doctors are also saying, this is very normal, you're anxious, I am also anxious, no problem. Both of us like this only, it's very normal to be anxious.
Correct.
So what is it? If you're a toddler, you have a diaper problem. If you become an adolescent, you have hormonal issues. If you become middle age, it's a crisis. If you become old age, it's horrendous. Tell me, when is it good for you? Everything is a problem. You're seeing life as a problem because your mind is not working for you, it's working against you. How to make people understand, not only understand, give them tools to make their mind in such a way that it's a miracle. There are various ways to look at it. One simple thing is, now, only now, in the last 3, 4, 5 years' time, so-called modern science. See, science is neither modern nor ancient. Science is when you look at something the way it is and in some way systematize your understanding and also able to express
Explain it to others.
express it to the world, it becomes science. You didn't invent science, there is neither ancient science nor modern science. People keep asking, Sadhguru, such ancient wisdom you are. Arey, God damn it, very ancient wisdom. We need wisdom which is contemporary.
You're millennial, Sadhguru.
What do you mean? I've been across 2 millenniums, which one do you think?
No, millennial is a thing that people who are born after the 90s are called millennials.
I know all these things. See, as if there are not enough segregations in the name
I'm sorry, I have to get out of the identities.
in the name
sorry,
of
I'm labeling
color, creed, race, religion, nationality, nonsense, every kind. Now you guys want to segment one generation into 10 parts.
No, Sadhguru, मैं तो आपको कह रहा हूँ, you're the same generation. There's no difference. But I want to hear the full thing. That's what you were explaining, because that's a very thoughtful perspective that you shared.
What?
Science is just what you see, and you can systemize it and communicate.
See, if you pay enough attention to anything, you will see more than what others are seeing. Right now, the plant is putting up a lot of leaves and flowers. You can only look at that and wow, somebody painted it green. No, then you look at it, these brown tubes which are going, which don't even look alive, it's full of sap, it's going into the earth, then you know there is soil. It doesn't take any knowledge, just takes observation, attention. Without the keenness of attention, you will live and die on the surface of life. So science is trying to little fathom the physical world. But as we already said, the physical world is 0.000 something, that's all there is. This is modern science saying this, all right? Yoga has always said this, but it doesn't matter. Now it has to come from a Western university, otherwise it's not true. 1,000 things. One of the things that's happening today is, in the name of science, they are saying, breath and our emotions and our experience is very related. Oh, discovery this is, invention. For 10,000 years we've been talking about this. And we have an entire science, how to master the breath as a process and the deeper aspect of breath, which is the prana, and how thought and chemistry are connected, how you can just create the chemistry that you want. Now, why I'm wearing glasses because if you look at me, you will think I'm doped, which I am. I'm stoned all the time. No chemical, no substance. This is the greatest chemical factory. If you activate this properly, the endocannabinoids and anandamide makes you in such a way, you're blissed out every moment of your life. So, now the thing is just this, now they're talking about it, I'm glad they're talking about it, but don't… See, there is an old saying, I think it's if I'm correct, it's a Chinese saying, which says, a fool discovers what the wise man knew 1,000 years ago, okay?
So, Sadhguru, was this the first app you helped design?
No, we did the Sadhguru app to start with, and that is more serious content, a lot of content. People usually get lost in it, because today if you say two things at the same time, they can't figure it. The millennials.
Yes.
The fresh…
You have to keep it simple.
Not simple, you must dumb it down to a point where there's no sense to it after some time. So, now a miracle of mind is a very simple thing, 7 minutes a day, you just do this. and it's a bit gamified, it's not fully complete, still we will further gamify it, AI empower it and some games to play on it and everything, but the important thing is, we want at least 3 billion people in the next 24 months that they become like this, they close their eyes and sit for 7 minutes. 7 minutes a day, half the population sits with their eyes closed. Believe me, in a very subtle way, the world will change. Because there is no such thing as the world, it's just an abstract.
Yeah.
They're just you and me. If you change, half the world has changed. If I also change, whole world has changed, isn't it?
That's right.
This all it is. But we are always thinking there is something called a world that has to change. There is no world, there's just you and me and everybody, all right? If you and me change, everything has changed. So, 3 billion people, if they close their eyes for 7 minutes, you will see a significant change. There are enough medical studies on this, scientific studies. We are not just launching this ad hoc. 6.5 years ago, I opened a center in the Beth Israel Hospital, which is a teaching medical hospital for Harvard Medical School. In the premises, we have a Conscious Planet Center. So research has been going on in a very profound way where clearly things have been put across, which are fantastic facts. But see, these facts won't spread easily. You tell them there is a pill, if you take it, that will spread like that, like fire.
Like the Ozempic pill nowadays.
Ozempic…
You heard about it?
Yeah, yeah, it's for
a miracle drug they are calling it.
No,
what do you think about it?
See, it's a… See, people are doing business out of it, so I don't want to get in their livelihoods. I'm not interested in that. But if you don't know how much to eat…
By yourself.
As a human being, see, the essence of being human is this. You're not special in any way compared to other creatures. They are born, you are born, the same way, reproduction. They grow up, you grow up, but they simply grow up, you grow up with a lot of fuss. They earn a living, you earn a living, make a huge fuss, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business, I'm this, nonsense, whatever to earn a living. Every sparrow is earning its own living, isn't it? They reproduce, we reproduce. That also they do it effortlessly, we do it with too much fuss. They die, we die. Too much fuss about death. So there is nothing you're doing bigger than them. I have lived in the jungles, I have paid so much attention to various lives, alone by myself, surviving in the jungle. Each one of them have a complete life of their own. You take an elephant, you take an ant, you take a grasshopper, you take anything. They have full-fledged lives of their own families, their own emotions, their own egos, their own problems, their own dramas, everything they have. Only thing is, they are doing all that instinctively. We can do this consciously. This is the fantastic thing about us. Same things. Because we do it consciously, suddenly it's worlds apart.
Yeah.
If you surrender that one thing, then
the world would change.
No, you're trying to go back on your evolutionary scale, which so many people are successful. When you say you don't know when to stop eating, you have surrendered your evolution, which took millions of years to get you here. To get a brain of this size, to be able to be cerebrally capable like this, you're surrendering that because you have surrendered your ability to be conscious. So what is called meditation fundamentally is to move into a consciousness which is of a higher intensity than the way you are right now.
Correct.
In this, I was talking about the scientists discovering about the breath. See, if you sit here, don't close your eyes, you're feeling sleepy, you'll fall asleep. I am closing my eyes, don't follow me, okay? I've practiced a lot to keep my eyes closed and not fall asleep, it takes a lot, okay? So you close your eyes like this and think clearly about a mountain. You will see your chemistry and your breath will become one way, your breath will change. You think about ocean, visualize an ocean, your breath will change. Think about a tiger, your breath will change. With every thought, if you create it with a certain intensity, breath will change. With breath, the chemistry will change. You're doing all this accidentally. No wonder you're anxious. If you are driving accidentally, will you be anxious or no?
Yeah.
100%. The nature of accidental existence is anxiety. Now when you say anxiety is normal, you are admitting you're living accidentally.
Accidentally.
This is a crime against humanity.
And our evolution.
Yes, the crime against humanity means the human project on this planet is millions of years old. From a single-celled animal to make you this complex and sophisticated, it's taken tremendous amount of research and development. You can dismiss it off as one word, evolution, but it is thousands and thousands of iterations nature has done to get you to this place. But now, you're surrendering that as if it's worthless because you've not realized the worth of being born as a human being.
Sadhguru, this morning only when I was coming here, I was reading on the newspapers where I read teenagers who are in their teenage in high school, just coming out of high school, are more spiritual today than has been seen in the last probably a decade, decade and a half.
Not decade, in many centuries.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this
I'll just
survey
tell
was
you.
at.
We are having one Rally for Rivers board meeting, and one of the board members organized lunch in the hotel, so we all go there. And I have some phone calls. I said, please, you start, I will come. And I'm walking in the garden and handling the phone. All 10, 12-year-old boys and girls, Sadhguru, Sadhguru, they shout. I said, wait, finish my call. Then I call them, they come. Hey, you idiots, how do you know me, huh? Oh, we watch your videos every day. I said, what, your mothers are forcing you to do this? No, we watch by ourselves. See, when I was 12, 15, there was no way anybody could make me watch a spiritual damn video, all right? No way. But these kids are. So I'm saying the awareness has grown in a certain way. I must tell you another statistic. Early on when we started the programs, 80 to 85% of the people came to the programs mainly for physical issues, they have health issues.
Yeah.
So they come because the reputation has spread, if you do this yoga, health will get better. So 85%.
Hypertension, something.
Today, only about 8 to 12% come for health reasons. All others come because they want to know something, they want to experience something. Tremendous change in 40 years' time. We also have a little role in making that change.
No, and I think, Sadhguru, you have a huge role to play because I believe having, like you said, our brain can work for us or against us. It's a choice that we have to make for ourselves. And I think in today's internet, social media, mobile applications, you have a choice to make that do you want to use such mediums, such
Let me
access
tell you
to
how I
technology.
got into the internet. I was in United States and it was just starting, what is this, 2006 or 7? 2006, I think. So we've just set up a mobile home, like a camp, in our big land. We have a huge forested land.
And you have a mobile home there.
Yeah, that's the only building that is there. So I work there and live there, and a few others, all working on something. Volunteers come during the day and work and go back. So somebody tells me, Sadhguru, every day about 100,000 people type out the word spiritual on the net. I said, really? That many people?
Every single day.
Every single day at that time. Now I don't know what the numbers are. Then I say, look it up, type out the word spiritual, what comes? So I also go to watch the screen. First thing that comes out is a health spa in Mexico. Second thing that comes up is a call girl in Northern California. She's learned a SEO, spiritual this, spiritual that, spiritual something, something, okay, whatever. I'm saying everybody, whatever they're doing, they're using the means. Technology is just a means, it has no mind of its own.
Correct.
Just a means, so she is using it in her own way, they are doing it.
The spa in
Then I
Mexico
thought, this is a shame, what is happening here? People say spiritual and somebody gives a massage, people say spiritual and somebody is offering sexual service, sex services or something, whatever she's offering. I said, we need to enter this space. This is a fantastic opportunity because many great beings have come. When they spoke, hardly 10 people could hear. When we have something that we can sit here and reach the entire world, if you think you have something valuable, if you don't make it reach everybody,
it's an opportunity.
You don't have enough love in your heart.
Yeah, maybe…
You are always thinking opportunity. I'm saying you don't…
if you
have
love in your
surrendered your
heart,
humanity in some way. If I have water in this well and everybody here is thirsty, I think it's not my business and I just sit here.
Yeah.
It's lack of humanity, isn't it? This is just
absolutely.
like that. For every problem that you are creating in your life, be very careful, I'm choosing my words very carefully. For every problem that you are creating in your life, problems are not dropping upon you like the seeds from the tree, okay?
They're being created.
They're being created by you. Created by you. We have a solution, we have tools with which you can find solutions. But if I don't offer it, if I don't make enough noise about it, if you want, come and get it, otherwise I'll sit in my mountain cave. I think it's surrendering humanity, which I don't wish to do right now. At some point I may do it, I may just withdraw and that's the end of it. Because I'm not active because I need to be active. If I close my eyes, I can sit here till I fall dead. I'm made like this. I'm active because it's needed. If the people are not able to make use of it, I'll go where I have to
But
go.
you also… it shows how close the purpose is for you. I think the passion with which you say that 3 billion people in 2 years, I think…
No, I'm not throwing these numbers just like that. See, in 100 days for Safe Soil, we reached 3.91 billion people, 100 days. Now it's well over 4 billion people have been touched. They all raise their voices, that is why policies are changing in the world. Soil has become part of the narrative. COP, the COP events that happen in the world. Till COP 26, there was not a word about soil. COP 27, we went there as observers. COP 28, we participated actively and they created an event for me called Soil the Superstar. Soil, who was a nobody, became a superstar in 2 years of effort. Now in the COP 29 in Baku where we went, the agenda itself is COP 29, in solidarity for a green world. From oil to soil, we moved it in a matter of 2 to 2.5 years' time. Today, many European nations have adopted soil policies. India this year, in this term, or last year I think 24, Prime Minister announced 68,000 crore project to create natural farming. And we ourselves have converted nearly 250,000 farmers into tree-based agriculture. All this is happening, still it's not enough. Policy must change full on.
Yeah.
Democracies around the world, unfortunately, deliver half babies. Half babies are a nuisance, not a solution. But they're doing something because we curtail the leadership of a democratically elected leader to 4 years or 5 years. In India it's 5 years, largely it's 4 years in many places. Nobody wants to think long term. One who thinks long term will lose the election for sure. It's become like that. Everybody is short term. So this could be very, very dangerous because people have lost the spirit of democracy. Everybody is looking at the algorithm of democracy, how to make it work. Everybody knows how to make it work. There are professionals who will tell you how to win the election. There is no spirit of democracy, people's participation, no. We know how to manipulate people. The same person goes to this place and says one thing, he goes to that place and says another thing, because somebody is giving him analytics. This is the issue here, this is what they like, you say that. Anyway, it doesn't matter what you say, you don't have to fulfill that.
So Sadhguru, do you think that the way to make democracies function better is potentially to expand the terms a lot longer?
No, then it could become, people who get used to long terms of power may not want to go. And also, if very long term, the whole ecosystem of politics in the opposition may become redundant.
In that period of time?
Yeah, it's too long.
So how do you… from your perspective, how do you think that democracies can function better than the way they are?
See, it depends in what stage of development a country is. If you're a fully developed nation, let's say, even if people have not developed, country is developed.
Country is developed. Per capita income has reached
Yes.
a certain…
If it's reached to some level, then it's left to the human beings as to what they make out of it. When you're in poverty, there are many things missing. So if those things are taken care of, you can run democracy and even your sense of nationhood a little easy. If the per capita is low, people are struggling for their livelihoods and there is poverty, now you have to drive it differently. So I don't think there is one formula for everybody. We have to find a certain formula that works for our country, because especially if you're talking about Bharat, it is too complex a composition of population. You have to find a way that it works for everybody. But it is going towards algorithm, which is not good because…
And I think, Sadhguru, to your point, I think one of the opportunities is to make sure that how do you potentially enable, like you said, per capita income is going to be a big enabler. So what kind of leadership and what kind of decision making you enable? So maybe the will of the people itself will be that because my per capita income is less, I want to try and design a democracy that works for me from my perspective. Sadhguru, I had a question for you. Sorry, moving to a different direction.
No, you made a very sweeping… I was just drinking water, you're taking advantage of that.
No, not at all. Go ahead, Sadhguru. Who can stop you?
No, that's not the point. Hey, take humor as humor, man, don't respond.
No, you have… I have a question about your humor. You have very good humor. My jaws are paining because I've been laughing all through this
That's
period.
because you've not used them for a long time.
I smile a lot but not laugh a lot. So today you made me laugh a lot.
So, when we say democracy, people will decide, no, it's a very wrong notion. People sometimes, knowingly or unknowingly, elect good leaders. Just look at the history of democracy. So that leader also, whatever kind he was before, when he comes to a position of power and responsibility, he may transform himself, which has happened any number of times. People may be looking at him from what he was at one time and this, but this is something that I always say within the organization also here. Somebody is acting funny, don't punish them, give them some responsibility. Let them understand. See, even in the school, we created something, I don't know to what extent all children have taken it up. We created something as student teachers. See, if your teacher comes, all teachers are funny and no good. I mean to say, in the children's eyes. At least they were in my eyes when I was in school. They were funny, they were ridiculous, they were stupid, and they were no good. Yes.
Hey, no, I remembered a quote of yours which you mentioned to a teacher when you were growing up. So
Okay.
that is why I was
Sorry.
smiling.
They put all that there. Because to stand up there and say something, every word matters. One wrong word you say, it'll come to huge focus and criticism. But people sit down and say what they want. It's a very… it's a simple thing to understand. People sitting there, let's say 1,000 people are sitting here. Sitting there, they'll shout whatever they want. You ask him to stand up and say the same thing, he'll say, I haven't got nothing to say. No. Okay? Right now, this is the problem with the social media also. This is one thing…
That's a very funny way to compare trolls and…
No, we should bring this as a law. You can say whatever you want about me. You can even abuse me, because people are abusing my mother, wife, daughter, everybody, all right? They have not left anybody. You can abuse me also, you can abuse them also. At least put your face on it, huh?
But I don't think abuse makes sense even if you have…
No, I'm saying it's okay. I'm not even trying to limit it because they're saying it's freedom of speech. If that is their speech, let them do it, but at least put your real name and ID on it. You say, I'm Ritesh and this is what I'm saying. No, you say I'm something which you are not. You say I'm Jonah and say this. What kind of a man are you? So social media is encouraging this because they want millions of fake accounts to fool everybody. The advertisers are fooled because they think you have 1 billion accounts. No, a third of them or probably 2/3 of them are all repeat fake accounts. This needs to be curtailed because if you don't do this, democracy will go down the drain. I can have 10 accounts and say 10 different things on the same platform. Why don't you give me 10 votes? I'm asking.
Makes sense. It's an interesting way to look at it, but I think, Sadhguru, to your point, I think fundamentally internet is where people should be able to share their thoughts, but I believe that abuse is not okay even if people put their face. But
No,
like
I'm
you're
saying, I am not even restricting that. You put your face on it and abuse me, then I know what to say about you.
So free sharing of ideas is great.
You are being too civilized. There's not enough civilization in the world, you better understand that. I don't know where you live. Okay? There's not enough civilization in the world. There are many uncivilized creatures who'll say whatever they say. I'm okay, that's the level they are, let them say, but at least let them have the courage to put their name on it, no?
Yeah.
I'm asking one step, you're asking 10 steps.
So, Sadhguru, I'm switching to a different question, which is university and its perspective in education. You of course went through different paths in your…
I went to the university.
You went.
I went to the garden only. Hello?
And I did not go to university at all. But you're so wise today.
Whoever told you university gives you wisdom?
And I think that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how did you pursue wisdom? Because when I went across the ashram, then a level of details that have gone in is unparalleled. We went to Devi Mandir, for example. There we saw the Trishul is at 11 degrees. So at absolutely every single place there is
We
a
are
level
sitting
of…
on 11 degrees, you know that? We are at 11 degrees latitude. See, when the planet spins, it's not spinning like this straight, it's little tilted.
Oh, that's 11 degrees.
No, that's not. Because it's tilted, the centrifugal force is highest at 11 degrees. We're sitting bang on 11 degrees because that's where we wanted the Dhyana Linga.
That's incredible. So how do you know all of this, Sadhguru, that like the amount of details you have applied in the ashram, like how do you get that, how did you get that knowledge?
I've lived on this planet. Though I've been a vagabond all over the place, I lived on this planet mostly. So whatever is happening, I pay attention to it.
And so you'd say traveling and paying attention to whatever you saw.
No, I won't even say traveling. Right now you're sitting here. Is it hard for you to notice that it's pretty warm for a March month?
Pretty…
So you notice temperature variations.
Correct.
If we pour some hot oil on you, will you know or you won't know?
I would know for sure.
You would know. I'm asking these questions because the body can get into that level of insensitivity. Even if you put your foot in hot oil, you may not know. Even if you're alive, body can become like that. Yes, neurologically, it can become that dull. So you are pretty good, you know hot oil and you know hot summer. So similarly, there are various other aspects, not just temperature. See, if you have temperature, that is, you have fever,
Yeah.
you know, isn't it?
Yes.
You don't need a thermometer.
Just know.
You just know. To know the exact number you may have, but very easily you can, so you're below 100 or over 100, you can easily know, yes or no? If you're crossing 104 something, then you know you're in a bad condition. Thermometer is only…
Indicator.
No,
Specific number you're talking.
Thermometer comes from your childhood. Whether you're saying, I have temperature because you don't want to go to school, or the parents are checking whether really temperature is there or not. Similarly, a doctor is checking really how much is your temperature. He doesn't want to go by your experience because human subjectivity is little like that. But I'm saying, you may feel very sick if you are 99 temperature or 100. I may not feel very sick at 100. This is… I'm not saying just you and me, I'm saying anybody to anybody. It once happened that I was continuously running temperature, but I had travel schedules fixed, US, Britain, I came to India, I went to Singapore, then to Australia and back, like this, back-to-back thing, and I was shooting something here continuously, 5, 6 episodes a day. and I had to change my clothes 3 to 4 times because I'm sweating like that. Every kind of medicine they tried, temperature's not going down.
But you're still traveling, you're still…
Yes, I continuing to do everything. So I went home and my head was like, my brains were getting cooked. I thought, this has crossed all limits, something happening, and I took the thermometer and put it, showed 107.
107?
Yes. Then I just walked into the shower with my clothes on, with my turban on, everything, and turned on the cold water and just stood there under the shower. After that, many things happened, let me not go through that. Then when I was in United States, I met this doctor and said, it became like this, it became 107 and this is what I did. This is the smartest thing you have done in your life.
Really?
He said, that kind of temperature…
I thought you get pneumonia.
You would die, brain will collapse. The brain will freak out beyond that temperature. So he said, this is the smartest thing you have done.
Just to cool it down a little bit.
Yeah, and above all, I didn't take off my turban, that was the best thing.
It stayed…
With the turban I went in, everything got wet and stayed like that. I just sat there in the bathroom for some time, fully wet. He said, this is the smartest thing. I did not know I'm doing the smartest thing. It was just a natural thing for me, I'm feeling so hot.
Then I need like some water to…
There was nothing else but water.
Sadhguru, I think…
Please let me complete, I'm so sorry.
Please. No, this is important.
So similarly, apart from temperature, there are other aspects. There are upsurges of energy in your body, what's happening. So if you go to some place, if that place is, let's say 11 degrees latitude, your body will feel different. You don't notice that because you're Oyo. You're calculating, can I start a hotel?
New business.
Can I start a hotel in Isha Yoga Center? You're welcome.
Which I already have thought, by the way.
I'm already welcoming you.
Thank you.
You can. And also new businesses, maybe you want to become a brick manufacturer, maybe you want to become a snake catcher, we don't know what. But I'm saying your mind is looking for those kind of opportunities and missing the fundamental opportunity because your focus is different. I'm not trying to say less or more. Focus is different. But I am always looking, because my work is with people, what can I do to people so that it works better for them? So if I feel here it's in a certain way, then today what I do is very different. And they'll say, Sadhguru, this is the best thing that happened. Then another day they'll be sitting somewhere else and there I see this, that is the best thing to do, I'll do that. Again they'll say the same thing, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, all right? So because the thing is, depending upon what is it that you want to get to, you're noticing those things. If I'm in agriculture, which I am, if I go anywhere, first thing I see is the soil. How is it? What can you do here? Because if you see the soil, you know whether people will live well here or not. As simple as that. So, similarly, like there is a Kannada saying, it's said in a certain way, if a beautiful woman passes by, the tailor only looks at the blouse. He's only looking at the blouse.
Job. That's his job.
His interest is that. You came to the yoga center, you're looking where to build the hotel.
Sadhguru, I'll tell you, I spoke to numerous volunteers and I asked them what inspired them, because they have, like a lot of them, right, like come from excellent backgrounds, and all of them said…
You thinking I did come from excellent background?
You came from…
No, I came from my mother's womb, that's the best background.
That's the best background and all of us came from there. But they all said, I asked them, what inspired you to be here at the Seva? And all of them said…
Don't use that word, I don't like that word. I don't like people who are doing Seva here. We call this karma sadhana, it's your karma. You use activity to release yourself. You don't do Seva to me.
That's right.
I'm not in that condition, I need your service.
That's a karma sadhana, which is a… I hear you, that it's the right way to put it. They all say that they felt so touched by you that they want many other people to experience the same. From your perspective, what inspires thousands of volunteers from all across the world to come in and do karma sadhana?
Suppose, this is not just a suppose, this is a promise also. Suppose I teach you a way that you can sit here and be blissed out. Being blissed out is not a goal by itself. You have no business to be any other way, if you ask me. If you are in a pleasant state of mind, there is enough science to tell you, only when you're in a pleasant state of mind, your body and your brains work at their best. Right now, there is a whole lot of your tribe, entrepreneurs, who think and who propagate, only if you are stressed, we will think properly. Yes or no? It's going on.
There are different views, yes.
It's going on. People are trying to legitimize their suffering. Religious people also doing this. Only those who really suffer will find God. All the best. If you think at the end of your life, somebody is going to give you a medal for your suffering, all the best. I don't want that medal.
I want to be in my happy place.
You please take the medal, I give it to you. My medal also I'll give it to you, suffer double. It's up to you. I don't want to suffer and get a medal in the end because it's the dumbest thing to do. Using your intelligence to poke yourself like this is the dumbest thing to do. But if you think there is some intelligence in that, there is some benefit in misery, you have the benefit. I don't want that benefit.
Enjoy.
No, don't say enjoy. People try to enjoy life because there's no joy in their life.
No, I agree with you, which is saying that if you're in a happy place, that's where you can be the best version of yourself.
What is the happy place?
A blissful place.
Where is the place?
In your own mind, in yourself.
Both misery and joy are created from within. Pleasant and unpleasant things are all created from within you. It's your choice. Hell and heaven are manufactured in your head. It's your choice where you want to live. You can manufacture both and keep it. If you come, I'll put you in hell. Just joking.
Please don't.
I will sit in heaven. This is what people are doing now. People that they like, they put them in their heaven. People that they don't like, they put them in their hell. Yes or no? Every day?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
That you're in a good place, you're not.
So I am saying there is no place. There is no good place, there is no bad place. Both are made up by you. At least make up something the way you want. Why are you making up things that you don't want? If you're in a pleasant state of mind, your body and your brains work better. When your body and mind works better, will you do your business better?
Of course.
Definitely, isn't it?
100%.
Yes. You may not want to be spiritual, doesn't matter to me, because if you use your body and mind consciously, I see that you're spiritual enough. You don't want to go to heaven, I appreciate that, because the worst crime that's been committed on humanity is this, that people said, this is not the place to live, there's another better place to go. This is the worst crime being committed upon humanity. That crime must collapse because this is the place. Do you have any proof that you're not already in heaven and making a mess out of it?
No? Maybe this is it.
What maybe this is it?
No, maybe this is the heaven, right?
No, do you have any proof that this is not heaven?
There's no proof.
You don't have proof. So why are you assuming it's not? At least from whatever science and astronomy we know today, at least in the known universe, there is no better celestial body than planet Earth. Yes or no?
That's right.
You want to live on the moon? Now they're saying they didn't even land. You want to live on the Mars? There's some oxygen, I believe. You want to go there? You want to live in Jupiter and get burnt?
Mars someday, but when it is fully civilized, right? Now I'm happy.
What is the best celestial body
that's Earth.
that we have seen?
Today, Earth is the best celestial.
So why do you say this is not heaven?
Yeah.
So you have no proof this is not.
Yeah.
But you are a proof that there is hell. I'm saying.
Because you're putting people
Yes.
in different boxes.
No, you put yourself in that box. See, people are not torturing others.
Torturing
They're
themselves.
torturing themselves. Do unto others what you do unto yourself, they're following.
I think, Sadhguru, this is a very important takeaway in today's discussion, which you mentioned a few times, which is more often than not, our situation in our lives or our misery we blame on others. But to your point, I think it's largely one's own doing.
Largely?
It's entirely one's own doing. and hence we hold the key to changing it and making it more satisfying or a happy place.
The moment you see, I am poisoning myself. When I say poisoning, there's substantial medical science to show you. Next 5 minutes, if you take your blood sample now and do certain studies on that, and 5 minutes you get really angry, we can show you, you're literally poisoning yourself, literally. The chemistry is turning into poison. So, if you're poisoning yourself and then you think somebody else is doing it, is there a solution?
There's no solution.
Once you have turned against yourself, no God in the universe can assist you.
So, your relationship with nature, Sadhguru. I grew up close to nature myself, but nowhere as close to your love. I hear that sometimes you go to the forest and could be there for days altogether.
Not anymore. Where if I go, 100 people will come behind.
But
they may be uncivilized, but they're not wild enough to be in the jungle.
So how did that start? And what parts of the nature or what about the nature inspires you or makes you fall in love with it?
Yeah, I never see something as nature because it's very wrong. Is it true? Are you breathing? Once again I'm checking.
Yes.
You are breathing. Don't agree with me. Check and tell me.
I have checked.
You're breathing. What you exhale, this tree is inhaling. What the tree exhales, you are inhaling.
Correct.
So why is the tree nature and this is you?
We are both nature.
One half of your lungs is actually hanging out there. Hello?
Not for it. How would you inhale and exhale?
Yes. So, how come it became separate and now you love the nature? This is all messed up minds in the world. We are creating, out of one mistake we create more and more and more. This is why yoga, the word yoga does not mean twisting and turning. Yoga means union. Union means you consciously obliterated the boundaries of your individuality because your individuality is purely a psychological phenomenon. Existentially, can you cut yourself off from this?
No, sir.
Not just in terms of breath. Every cell in the body is in communication with everything. Every atom in here is in communication with the whole existence. It's happening all the time. If they don't communicate, you're done right now. Right now. There are trillions of organisms here which are in communication with things that are around us. Today they're slowly accepting there is gut biome, there is this, that, there is biome even in your brain, all this. We've been talking about it for 1,000 years, you know. I'm saying in the yogic culture they're talking about, well, among the Jains there are clear-cut documents where they're saying anujivis.
Yes, I've heard that.
Atomic life. That means…
Anujivi is the atomic life, yes.
The microscopic life, that's what they're saying, you can't see it but they're there.
Yes.
So, all this is in connection, life is happening one phenomena. You are so messed up in your head, you think you are a separate phenomena by yourself. Simply because nature gave you a certain level of cerebral capability, you are completely lost in that.
So I started my company in 2013. And India had this startup revolution that started in 2016 called Startup India. And our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Modi he's made dramatic strides in many ecosystems. One of them has also been about mental well-being. From your perspective, and you also mentioned the 68,000 crore project on the effort of…
Natural farming.
Natural farming. From your perspective, what has this government done which is great in the pursuit of mental well-being so far, and what would you expect them to do in the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years, 5 years in terms of making further positive difference?
See, before we come to what the government has done, as we've repeatedly gone through, your suffering and your joy are your making.
Correct.
The fundamental ethos of this civilization is your life is your karma. That means your life is your making. This is the only civilization on the planet which told you your life is your making. Everybody else, everywhere else, they told you that your life is made by God from somewhere. This is the only place where they told you, your life is your making.
Your making.
This is why well ahead of every other civilization, we had mathematics, art, music, everything, business, commerce, everything. To a point where, this is a conversation going on in the Portuguese port. When somewhere in 1600s, I think, I'm not clear about the date, somewhere there, 16 or 1700s, they are saying, if you want to learn trading and business, go to Cambay, where business is a science, not just counting money, it's a science. So everything developed because of this one thing, that we saw our life is our making. We didn't wait for God to do anything. Now we've turned around and become fatalistic because of too much beating that we have taken in 1,000 years' time. So what can a government do? Before we go there, what can you do about your mental health and your physical health?
Correct.
This is the thing that needs to happen. See, why should a prime minister tell you, you do yoga, it's good for you? Arey? And fortunately, he is taking that step. As a world leader, he is lying down on the street and doing yoga so that everybody does it.
Yeah, he helped set up the International Yoga Day, which has now become a massive trend globally.
It is. But I'm saying this is something in this civilization where always you have known your life is your karma. Let's understand this. We have turned this word karma into a fatalistic process. Ayo karma, as if it came from somewhere. Karma means action. Whose action? My action. Physical, mental, emotional and energetic action I am performing when I'm awake and when I'm asleep. And how much of your activity like this is conscious? Not even 1%. When 99% you do unconsciously, definitely you feel like something is striking you from somewhere. This is the experience of the whole world. Here we figured out it's all happening from within, so your life is your karma. How you experience your life right now is entirely your making.
Yeah.
Where you are, what you eat, how you are, these things, social situations and other things may determine. But how I experience my life right now, whether I am joyful or miserable, it's entirely 100% my making. This one thing everybody should get, because this is the USP of this civilization. This is the USP that the entire world needs. And whatever these millennials or what is the next word, I don't know.
Gen Z. And then my son, who's 1 year old, is Gen Alpha.
Oh, they went back to A again.
Reverse. But look, I think you're absolutely right that…
What am I? M, is it?
No, you're… I thought we were the same, that's it. But Sadhguru, I think, to your point, I think our civilization has some incredible stories and today's conversation is limited to talk about it.
No, our civilization comes to super relevance when economic well-being in the world is reasonably stable. We must understand this, because we saw these things and we evolved many systems when we had economic well-being that nobody could imagine. This whole civilization, which we largely refer to Sanatan or we got labeled as Hindu, because this land between Himalayas and Indus-Sagara was so protected by the mountains and the ocean, undeterred, we evolved. Till they learnt how to climb the mountains and find the mountain passes and
sail the seas.
Or sail the seas, till then we evolved with undeterred, unconcerned about our safety and security. When we were growing our civilization like this, when mathematics, music, astronomy, everything has hit the peaks here, let's say in Europe, which is generally considered to be the most developed continent, they were all warlords, continuously killing each other, burning each other, endlessly going on. This is what was happening. So, these two mountains and this, we say Himalaya and Indus-Sagara, Hindu. The land that lies between is Hindu. Hindu civilization, everybody appreciated. Even today, in countries like Lebanon, Syria, there are thousands and thousands of women who have name Hind. Even today, they are Hinds. Why? Because their ideal land was Hindustan, okay? Even when you say whatever the slogans, you say Jai Hind, right?
Yes.
Even today in those countries, they have names Hind because the ideal nation,
Goosebumps, yeah.
the ideal nation or the ideal civilization in their mind was Hindustan. So it became Hind. So today, for whatever reasons, for economic reasons and technology, everybody wants to go to America, United States of America.
Yeah.
And it's going to be much larger, I believe, in recent future, in immediate future. So if that happens, more people can go. You you can open a hotel in…
We have 2,000 in US now, Sadhguru.
No, you can open in Greenland.
Sadhguru, we have business there already, but but that said, I think it's a controversial topic today. But I must say, I think the respect for our civilization, Sadhguru, is there with the best in the world. I think when I meet entrepreneurs in
Except
the US,
here.
I think we got to appreciate our own civilization a lot more. That I would accept with, that I'd agree with. And I think also the yogic science that, again, I was listening to how a lot of it was applied. I think a lot of those are 101, they're first principles that have existed for a long time.
See, we call this Sanatan, you know why? Sanatan means eternal. Eternal.
Eternal.
That means there are some fundamental aspects that govern life, which are eternal. It will not change. You were here 10,000 years ago, it was same, you come 10,000 years later, it's same. So we recognize two levels of truth. Smriti, something that you learn by memory. Your father knew something, he told you. A part of it is his experience, another part is his father told you. So this is Smriti. The culture is teaching us through families, through cultural structures. We are… by memory we are learning because 90% of the human being is learnt behavior. But there is something called a Shruti, which is Sanatan, which is unchanging, which is concerned with the nature of the life and the universe, the relationship of this life with the rest of the universe. That never changes. Doesn't matter you're here or you go to Mars, if you're planning to go. I don't know if in your time it'll happen, but if you go and you go for 8 days and you may get stuck for 9 months, all this can happen and
It has happened recently, yes.
that's not that far either. So…
That was just a space station.
Yeah, so it's very important to understand Sanatan means eternal.
Eternal.
Can something be eternal without being all-inclusive?
Cannot be.
So this is what yoga means. Yoga means union. That means you consciously obliterated the boundaries of your individuality. Now you're sitting here, you're breathing with the tree, but you don't know. So you look at this tree and you think this is a nice stick, you know, in the rest of the world they call it wood. A living tree, they call it wood. It's like if I am a tiger, I look at you and think, okay, this guy will make a nice snack. Yes, it amounts to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we started looking at things in utilitarian ways. How much utility will you create? And is life getting better? In human experience, is life getting better? More conveniences and comforts have come. As conveniences, comforts come, as survival gets taken care of, Sanatan becomes more and more relevant because people will want to find something more profound. So, see, somebody is selling tickets to heaven. What do you get in heaven? Better survival, better accommodations, better pleasures. Same thing, exaggerated,
Yeah.
all right? Are they offering something new? No. So this is why economic well-being is most important for Sanatan, because only then people will be competent enough to look at something more profound. Otherwise, they'll think only of survival, survival, survival and better survival.
So our civilization is tailor-made for a high quality, like for Viksit Bharat.
Yes.
Because that's where our civilization's
Yes.
learnings and knowledge become the most relevant.
See, for example, Adi Yogi, what he propounded about life, 112 ways, that's why it is 112 feet tall. He gave 112 ways in which a human being can reach their ultimate possibility. This is… there are mathematics attached to it, let me not go into that. But whatever he gave was so technological. Never in all these 15,000 years or more have been the generations who could really implement what he's talking about, because it needed a certain level of intellect.
Yeah.
Intellect was never so widespread as it is today. There were people, but always it was restricted to groups of people, never widespread as it is today. More people are thinking for themselves today than ever before in the history of humanity, yes or no?
Absolutely.
So this is the best time. Adi Yogi is not of the past. Adi Yogi is for the future, because he is giving you a technological solution to every goddamn problem you can create. You can create whatever kind of problem. He's already worked out
a solution for it.
A technology for it. Not just a philosophy, a technology for it. So that kind of thing would never worked 1,000, 2,000 years ago. That's why they nailed him on the wall and started worshipping him. They know he is great, but they don't know why. Only now it's truly relevant. For future generations, it's absolutely relevant.
I think also what you've done is bringing the yogic perspective of Mahadev rather than just the religious perspective has been quite fascinating.
There's no religious perspective to him. He's not a religious man. He's a yogi. People worshipped him as a yogi in his time. They called him Mahadev. Wherever he sits, he always sat in yogic postures, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So, what you call as Sanatan, this is a little… I get the right-wing trolls, it's all right. What you call as Sanatan is a mass application of yogic sciences, which gets diluted and little distorted, but still it's fundamentally yogic sciences.
Because there's deep science at the heart of
the
eternal perspective.
Yes. See, when you say Sanatan, you're saying eternal. It's a positive way of presenting it. When we say yoga, we are talking about union.
Yeah.
Union means you have to obliterate your boundaries, otherwise there's no union.
Yeah.
If you obliterate your boundaries, you are boundless.
Yeah.
And you're eternal. What is boundless is eternal. We are not talking two different things. But yoga as a science, everybody may not have the necessary application, so we made it mass application. When you mass apply something, it will definitely get diluted, many times distorted over a period of time. Especially if there are not enough people to keep on correcting the distortions will happen. I'll tell you something as simple. This will anger many people. In India, not outside, in India, outside the country they can do whatever. Within this country, everybody is starting off, Om. The simple sound is this. If you keep your mouth open and push the air out, it'll do ah. If you start closing it down, it'll do ooh. If you close it, it becomes This is the sound. Now, how many distortions have happened? These distortions happen outside. For example, you will see this sound in Christianity, in Islam. In Christianity, they close everything with Amen. You go to America, it's Amen. You go to Vatican, in the Catholic Church, how they do, especially in the Orthodox Church, Amen, like that, they're stretching it out like that, it almost Amen. See, you've seen this, Ram. You're from Haryana.
Yeah.
You guys ate a part of his name and called him Ram. We are like this, South Indians, we like to tease you. When he came down south, we called him Rama. When he entered Tamil Nadu, they called him Raman. Because language has certain inflection. So the Aramaic language which they were speaking has a much stronger inflection like that than Tamil language. So they said Amen. Islam says the same thing, Ameen. Same sound. Language distortions enter. This is the significance of yogic system. We sit here constantly looking at what is cultural, what is existential, always cutting out the cultural aspects. We know culture will add color and make our life beautiful, but without the structure, color is a mess. Hello?
Yeah.
You are well structured, then little color you add, nice. Only color, no structure, you are one big mess. You're back to amoeba state. All right, you're a splash.
all over.
Yes. So, to maintain the structure, we keep cleaning it off, cultural inputs that will happen, language inputs that will happen. This is my work because for a few hundred years, nobody has done the proper cleaning. I have this onerous task that I'll be accused of all kinds of things, he doesn't know what is Sanatan, he's not read a scripture, he's this, he's that, all kinds of things because I'm constantly cleaning up cutting out the cultural aspects. Not that I don't like culture, I love the culture, it's colorful as it comes. But color, if you get lost in color, you'll
get the structure
blinded.
and color is an addition.
Color is like makeup. Little makeup is nice. If you paint yourself head to toe in red, it won't be good.
I agree. I agree with that. Sadhguru, I think it's been fascinating. I actually could go much longer, but I think…
I see you have a lot of questions that you copy.
Yeah, but I didn't see a single one of them because all of these left for themselves because you had such a fascinating perspective on everything that out of my curiosity, going back to how we started, I kept trying to seek from everything I could get from you. So thank you so much, Sadhguru.
Thank you. Namaskaram and all the best for you.